CBS 8's Jenny Day. Welcome to Around San Diego. I'll get you caught up on a week's worth of news and look ahead in just 30 minutes. So to start, I want to once again congratulate San Diego State on an incredible season. Feels like a while ago now, but it was just this past Monday when the Aztecs took us all the way to the national championship game. They really brought the whole community together. Yeah, this is the moment fans welcome the team home. Despite the loss to the University of Connecticut Huskies, fans say that they are still so proud of the team's success this year. As for the players, they are proud too.
It's genuine love, you know. We're blessed to make it to the end, and we made the city proud, and that's just a result of what's going on.
I've been here 23 years, and we've never been this close before. It's fantastic. So proud of these guys.
Yes. So another celebration is taking place at Snapdragon Stadium this Saturday. Admission to the event and parking are both free, but you will need to get a ticket in advance. Gates open at 6 p.m. and then the festivities start at 6:30. Hey, and I just have to mention the Padres are also off to a great start. Really just a great time for San Diego sports. Well, now to our other top news story, your commute. North County drivers are still dealing with closures on State Route 78. Westbound lanes are now open and crews are now working on the eastbound side. The westbound portion of the highway was closed for nearly a month because of a sinkhole. CBS 8's Regina Urita shows us what drivers can expect on that new detour.
After weeks of closure, Caltrans has now opened up 2 westbound lanes on State Route 78. You can see cars are already on this side of the freeway, but now a section of the eastbound 78 is closed. Tonight, I set out with my photographer to test out the detour on Oceanside, and let's just say drivers are not too happy.
Be prepared for more traffic in State Route 78. Storm-related repairs continue tonight on the lanes between College Boulevard and El Camino Real, making it a complete nightmare for those forced to take the detour.
I'm super stressful about all the traffic every day.
The westbound lanes first closed 3 weeks ago while crews worked to repair a sinkhole caused by several failed culverts that were buried underneath that section of the freeway. Repairers started immediately to replace these culverts, and now Caltrans must replace old culverts on the eastbound side.
But because of the high amount of rain that we've experienced and runoff over, basically since November of last year to now, that's accelerated the deterioration of the culverts.
I was near the exit drivers are being forced to take to follow the detour, asking drivers how long they have been stuck in traffic.
It's very, very inconvenient. It takes me a long time to get anywhere.
It's been like this for weeks, but we've been on here for about 35 minutes, just going for not even a quarter of a mile.
After listening to a handful of drivers complain about the closures, I decided to take the detour myself.
All right, so we're on State Route 78 driving eastbound. We're actually approaching the freeway detour. That's the detour that we're going to take right now as I'm parked near it. The detour is the exit of Camino Real. So we're going to take it and see how long it takes us.
After getting off on El Camino Real, I was met with lots of traffic, especially when turning on Vista Way.
All right, we are almost entering the freeway once again. We're just finishing the detour. We started at 6 o'clock. It's now almost 6:30, so it's definitely 30 minutes to take this commute. Definitely frustrating for those who have to take this route in the morning and afternoon. Caltrans workers have been working hard to repair the highway, saying it could take another 3 weeks to complete the work. Regina Urita, CBS 8.
Regina, thank you. Well, CBS 8 also checked in on how repair work is going on a massive sinkhole in Encinitas and another at a park in Scripps Ranch. We really had quite the rainy winter. So the city says, though, that it is still figuring out just how to repair the sinkhole in Scripps Ranch. It hasn't been decided when the work will begin or the funding for that emergency project. Meanwhile, in Encinitas, repairs are underway on the huge Lake Drive sinkhole that formed from a failed stormwater pipe.
The various kinds of things we build beneath the ground fail during stress. And we've had a lot of stress from all the rainfall this year.
Yeah, the repairs on the sinkhole in Cardiff are still on track to be completed by the end of this month. Again, potholes have been a problem, and now that the sun is shining, the city of San Diego says it plans to aggressively fix them. CBS 8's Abby Black is working for you. She learned about new technology to track road conditions to better budget for repairs.
You may have seen this van driving around in your neighborhood wondering, what is it? Well, it's the ARIN, the Automatic Road Analyzer. Okay, so what does it do? We're working for you to show you how the city is using it to improve road conditions.
San Diego streets.
But they're unsafe.
We've heard an earful from you this year.
A lot of potholes need to be fixed.
The rain hasn't helped either.
I hope that the city does more to anticipate these types of things and takes like a proactive approach to it.
The city hears you.
So this is the condition assessment van.
With lots of gadgets.
These are actually lasers that are allowing us to capture potholes and cracks and surface issues on the road.
I noticed the van on Twitter when Ari Isaac saw it on the street and wondered what it was too. A mayor staffer responded that it's for the new street conditions assessment report. So I got to work. I hit the pavement on Claremont Mesa Boulevard and mounted a camera inside the van to see how the city is wholesale mapping its 3,000 miles of roads in the city. The van has cameras and lasers that measure the smoothness of the road or not so smooth. The city tells us that no, Google can't do this.
We're actually collecting more information than Google is, and it helps us really make good decisions.
We're talking to the city's road czar, Bethany Bezak. She's the city's transportation director who says the $500,000 technology is contracted through Fugro. This will allow the city to get back on track to document the road's overall condition report index, or OCI, every 4 years.
There is some work definitely needs to be done.
The data will rank the roads either good, fair, or poor to give the city an idea on what repairs are needed.
The fair category is the sweet spot because that allows us to prioritize some funding to do some kind of maintenance activities like slurry seal, protective finishes that coat the roadway to help them last a little bit longer so they don't get into the poor condition, which costs even more money to have to do a full repair.
The city council will receive the report in the fall so they know how to budget for repairs to make it a smoother ride for drivers.
But it can't be this one-off patching type of thing. I think we really need a systemic change, a plan, if you will.
The city says by the end of the week, it'll finish its road assessment from Claremont Mesa Boulevard down to Otay, and then it'll go to the beach area in the north area of the city. Working for you, I'm Abby Black, CBS 8.
Yeah, they are trying. Abby, thanks. Well, the series of powerful storms also brought record snowfall to California. Now, CAL FIRE and other state agencies are warning Californians to take extra precautions as that snow begins to melt. They say we could see dangerous, fast-paced moving rivers and streams, and they are encouraging people to wait until the summer for recreation on those waterways. Right now, snowpack in the Sierra is 221% higher than normal. Statewide, that figure is 237% higher. Wow. Well, meantime, the San Diego Metropolitan System says that it will conduct an independent investigation into the allegations against former MTS board chair Nathan Fletcher. MTS board members made that decision on Thursday. Acting chair San Diego City Council member Stephen Whitburn says the board will hire outside counsel to investigate. Fellow board member and council president Seanilo Rivera was named in Gracia Figueroa's lawsuit against Fletcher, saying he possibly knew about the claimed harassment and assault. Rivera denies that and says that he did not know anything about it.
I'm pissed. I'm pissed and I'm disappointed. It's a lot of feelings that I have, but I had no idea that any of that was going on.
Yeah, an MTS spokesperson also says no one in executive management knew about the specifics of the allegations until last week. And some San Diegans are calling for San Diego County Supervisor Nathan Fletcher to step down immediately from his position. Last week, Fletcher announced he was resigning from his position on May 15th amid sexual assault allegations which Fletcher has denied. Moving forward, the board will have the option to either appoint a replacement for Fletcher, who would then serve out his current term through January 2027, or call for a special primary and special general election at an estimated cost of $2 million each, according to Supervisor Jim Desmond.
We got homeless problems. We got housing problems. We got, you know, all sorts of other issues to deal with. And $4 million for two elections is a lot.
The Board of Supervisors will decide at its May 2nd meeting how it plans to proceed. Well, now to former President Donald Trump, who is facing an unprecedented challenge, defending himself in criminal court this week while running for president. His campaign has used his indictment as a way to generate more support, raising millions of dollars in recent days, even offering a T-shirt with a fake mugshot.
What they're doing to Trump, targeting him, is to stop him from running. They think they're going to take him out, but what it's doing is it's just making him stronger.
Mr. Trump said there is tremendous spirit right now in the Republican Party. He continues his campaign next week with a stop at an NRA convention in Indianapolis. And the Department of Justice just announced a $144 million settlement with victims of a 2017 mass shooting at a Texas church. 26 people were killed and 22 others injured during the shooting in Sutherland Springs. In 2021, a federal court ruled that the U.S. government was liable for damages, saying the Air Force failed to add the shooter's criminal history into the FBI's background check system. A court must still approve some parts of this settlement. And this comes as students across the country walked out of class Wednesday to call for an end to gun violence. The protests are part of a national student walkout organized in the wake of last week's school shooting in Nashville, Tennessee. Students are calling on lawmakers to pass stricter gun control legislation. And a San Diego nonprofit is providing comfort to the victims of the Nashville school shooting. The group Comfort Cub in Encinitas is sending 300 weighted teddy bears, also known as Comfort Cubs, to the Covenant School. Each student and staff member at the school will get one. Volunteers packed up these boxes on Sunday and they will be delivered this week. Research shows that weighted objects like Comfort Cubs can help people suffering from trauma. Well, studies also show that dogs are great for the soul. Even just spending a few minutes with them can lift spirits. So Scripps Health is looking to get its canine therapy program back to pre-pandemic levels. I was there for the doggy auditions. Yeah, in my opinion, they were all A-plus students who are ready to interact with patients, because really at the height of the pandemic, it was a really dark and lonely time for those in the hospital. So the program is back by popular demand.
Zoe, Sedona, Sanja, and Zipper, all on their best behavior today.
Good job.
Scripps Memorial Hospital staff seeing how these pups react to new sounds, smells, and equipment.
We'll go in, turn and face the door, and we'll just discourage them from sniffing.
For obvious reasons, the canine therapy program was forced to stop during COVID, and everyone felt like something was missing.
Definitely really felt by our patients, but our staff really were affected by that, and that was really telling.
This four-legged healthcare team gets credit for being calming and improving blood pressure, as well as lifting spirits and encouraging communication and movement.
Any anxiety that they're feeling, that unconditional puppy love is invaluable.
These volunteers do believe their dogs have some kind of healing power.
The dog comes in and all that just kind of lifts, They light up.
James Ball lost his dad during COVID and sadly couldn't visit. He then had surgery at Scripps, so says it's his way of giving back.
She's very friendly and loves being pet, and so it's just a win-win, really.
Jeff Dubin and his golden doodle also want to volunteer their time.
The patient will benefit from her personality.
I got to see if they have what it takes during tryouts, from walking on a leash to being a good girl in the elevator, to the hardest part, walking past a tree and not taking it.
Okay, that's why we're going to go twice.
If selected for the canine therapy program, these dogs and their humans will bring joy to around 10 patients in a 1-hour shift.
Thank you, that's perfect.
So the program has slowly been rebuilding. Back in 2019, there were more than 60 dogs. Now about 30 volunteer once a week. If you'd like that information, I'll put it on CBS8.com. Reporting at Scripps in La Jolla, Jenny Day, CBS 8. And I got to share this with you. San Diego lost a beloved member of our community this past weekend. Ricochet, the surf therapy dog, passed away at 15 years old. She was meant to be trained as a service dog, but everything changed at a fundraiser for a teen with a spinal cord injury. Ricochet got in the water, stood on the teen's surfboard, and steadied his ride. She had been helping people ever since. Ricochet was diagnosed with liver cancer last August and died this past Friday. Well, staying on animals, did you see this? A viewer sent us video showing the moment a mountain lion attacked a deer on the side of the road. CBS 8's Brian White spoke with the man who saw this all happen while he was driving.
I tried to pull up a little bit closer to get a better view, and sure enough, the mountain lion started to drag the deer off the road. I've never seen anything like it.
When Buddy Wilkerson was driving to work, he captured this stunning video.
Right here, the deer and the mountain lion were battling. I pulled up real slow and stopped and was kind of surprised to see how big that mountain lion was. The thing was huge. It was at least 100 pounds. The deer ran that way. Mountain lion ran that way.
This happened on the outskirts of Alpine, right next to the Cleveland National Forest on Hapatul Road.
There's the homes right here, within 100 yards of us. I mean, you just saw people rode by on bikes, and there's lots of people that raise animals out here.
A few miles down the road, I met a woman who lost 2 of her beloved goats to a mountain lion just a couple weeks ago.
It's devastating. It's heartbreaking. These were goats that I've hand raised since babies. They're your pets. They are, they definitely hold a place in your heart.
In the past 3 years, Elisa Peskins lost 9 animals. She doesn't know what to do.
I've reported it to Fish and Wildlife several times.
She says she recently encountered a mountain lion stalking her goats while she was on an ATV, and it wasn't scared of her.
I had full lights, screaming at it, shouting at it, driving towards it, and it was not in the slightest scared or threatened by me.
Meanwhile, Buddy is used to seeing wildlife around here, but he'd never seen anything like this.
Yeah, we see wild turkey, we see deer, we see coyotes, bobcats, but that's the first time I've ever seen a mountain lion in person. And he was right on the road.
No one with the California Department of Fish and Wildlife was available for an interview, but they did tell me this is not considered unusual behavior, as this is typical mountain lion habitat and deer is one of their most common prey. In Alpine, Brian White, CBS 8.
My jaw is on the floor because I hike in that area and you just kind of convince yourself they're not really there. Whew, Brian, thank you. Well, across the nation, the number of car crashes related to distracted driving is up. That's according to new data released by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. CBS 8's Rocio de la Fe takes a closer look at the numbers here in our state.
These 9 seats behind me represent the average number of people that are killed every day across the nation as a result of distracted driving. It's a problem that's growing not only in California, but across the nation.
Put that phone down, it can wait.
Californian drivers are being urged to get rid of distractions while driving.
Many lives are lost as a result of somebody's inattention of using a cell phone.
Since 2021, the California Highway Patrol reports there have been 28,000 crashes related to distracted driving, responsible for nearly 200 deaths and more than 19,000 injuries.
It's 100% preventable, and it does have a real impact on people.
Using that cell phone is pretty much equivalent to, being under the influence.
Nationwide, the number of distracted driving crashes increased 12% from 2020 to 2021. Last year, nearly 43,000 people in the U.S. died. That's the highest number in 16 years.
They all know what they're doing. They know that they're distracted. Most people will be arrogant enough to think that's not going to happen to them. They're not going to hit anybody. They're in control.
Jim Jones nearly lost his life after being hit by a 19-year-old man who admitted to using his phone to talk to his girlfriend.
He entered the intersection. He looked to his right. He turned the wheel to the left and hit me from behind, launched me up into the air, landed on my head.
Jones suffered traumatic brain injury. His family was told he wouldn't make it, but miraculously he pulled through with the strength and support of his family.
I knew I was going to walk my daughter down that aisle, and that's the only focus I had.
He and other survivors are pleading with drivers to stay alert at all times.
Distracted driving happens to a lot of people, and we have a lot of deaths, we have a lot of injuries because of that, a lot of heartbreak. And if people could just realize what the potential is, maybe that would make a difference.
Experts believe the number of distracted driving-related crashes are likely higher because the problem is often underreported. Fines for first-time texting or cell phone violations cost a minimum of $162. The amount increases with each subsequent violation. Rocio de la Fe, CBS 8.
Yeah, I like that campaign, It Can Wait, because it's so true. Anything I'm texting about can wait. Rocio, thanks. Well, cruising in National City is getting the green light. 3 decades after a no cruising ordinance took effect, the city voted in favor of repealing it. The effort to lift the cruising ban has seen its struggles over the years, but the city has agreed that once again, and they will allow cruising on Highland Avenue.
Lowriding means to each and every one of these here that they can take their cars, whether it's a lowrider or not. They can go and cruise.
Yeah, the larger cruise events were not discussed at this meeting. A second hearing is scheduled for April 18th. And the county is moving forward with a plan to create affordable housing on county-owned properties. Health and Human Service facilities that help low-income families are currently on the list of properties being considered. The county is looking to demolish them to build affordable homes.
More affordable housing is definitely a must, I feel, in San Diego, because if you look at the market right now, it's so expensive.
Yeah, so it's still unclear when this could happen and how many homes would be built. Well, now to a potential game changer for the 60,000 kids currently in California's foster care system, including more than 3,000 here in San Diego County. Newly proposed legislation would cover the entire cost of their college education, from tuition and books to room and board at a UC, Cal State, or California Community College. Now, while college graduation rates among foster youth is disproportionately low, rates of eventual homelessness, unemployment, and incarceration are disproportionately high compared to the general population.
It's about moving back in time on folks and trying to prevent additional incarceration or additional homelessness or additional poverty or additional disparity by giving these young people a chance.
Yeah, if ultimately passed, Senate Bill 307 would go into effect at the start of the 2024-25 academic year. Well, I leave you now with a story from the Zebulee Zone, where sometimes the tiniest sandwich shops make the biggest sandwiches. Jeff heads to Lemon Grove for lunch at the Grove Grinder.
Imagine loving a sandwich shop so much, you walk up and you buy it. Family owned since 1972, when you step into the Grove Grinder,
make you feel at home.
They want you to feel as if you're visiting
Granny's house.
What does that mean?
Have you ever been to Grandma's house?
Yeah.
Okay. And Grandma has a nice house with knickknacks and all kinds of little things all around.
Sharon Jones, who goes by the nickname Granny, was married to Robert Jones.
We moved to Lemon Grove in '86.
For years, their favorite sandwich shop was the Grove Grinder, until one day it went up for sale.
I went home and got my husband, and I says, we're buying it.
And did so that same day, along with its legendary menu. I see the Godfather.
Oh yes, that's our biggest.
What about the Sinatra?
That's a good one.
When you flip the menu over,
this is Skeeter's department.
Smoked ribeye, smoked chicken, smoked pork. Skeeter is Granny's son. He's in charge of the meat. And a man of few words.
We're not messing around here. We're making sandwiches.
While Skeeter grilled our smoked ribeye,
this is the dining room.
Granny gave us a tour of her restaurant filled with antiques and a Campbell's soup collection.
Well, I started with one thing, and then customers bring me things.
Just like the friendly staff brought me this, and to wash it down, Skeeter's recommending Freddy's Root Beer and the Red Arrow. They offer 82 different root beer flavors.
Even pickled juice.
That is really fun. You know a place is good when the customers are people who serve, like police and firefighters.
My husband was in the Navy for 25 years.
A man of service and smiles, because when they sank their teeth into the Grove Grinder,
We didn't tell our kids we bought it.
until April Fool's Day, when they invited the whole family out to eat.
And when they came in, we were making the sandwiches.
Sandwiches that even on April Fool's Day are no joke. And take it from me, something to write home about. The best sandwich I've ever tasted. Thank you so much. In the Zevely Zone, the Grove Grinder, Jeff Zevely, CBS 8.
Aw, she's so sweet. And both my director and I are like, well, fine, we got twist my arm. We got to try these sandwiches. The Grove Grinder is open 7 days a week. Even at 80 years old, Granny is there every day. For more information, visit the Zevely Zone page on CBS8.com. As always, thank you for your time. Thank you for staying informed. Join me each week as I take you around San Diego. For CBS 8, I'm Jenny Day. Take such good care.